What up, everybody? Welcome to the IAG Thursday Thing. Let's call it a special edition, where Warranty calls in and actually orders something for his damn car. We're so proud of him. It's exciting. Look, we even got applauses going on. Exciting stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. I can't guarantee I'll make a purchase, but I'm definitely not going to just be an asshole. Like, I know I want something.
You're making a purchase, okay? You're about to see the full force of Dewey come out right here. All right.
Yeah.
You're about to get sold. I hope you're ready.
Oh, I've been sold multiple times before. It's been great. It's been a great experience every time. So,
all right,
let's go.
Long story short, let's just quickly go through some of the history. You know, you had a 15 STI launch edition. You showed up at a meet one day. You beat me up every single meet nonstop about questions of modifications you could do that wouldn't void your warranty. Hence why you have a nickname.
Yep.
You then voided your warranty. This was after 2 engines from Subaru. One of them I did in.
So I got the car tuned pretty early on, just a stage 1 tune from Graham.
Yeah.
And that was a great experience.
Sure.
And then, the first motor was on me. So I cracked a ringland because the cars do like to do that, especially when you try to get into boost at low RPMs.
You had this mini game you were playing with trying to make as much boost as you could. So you would run around at high gear, low RPM, and just mat it to see what it could make.
Yeah.
Which is literally
the dumbest thing on the planet. Like,
stupidest thing you could do, but this was your mini game.
Yeah, and it didn't last very long because it hurt the motor.
Don't do that. So
so bad. So the warranty was they just put a new piston in it, which is, I guess, fine. I mean, it's a little quick and dirty, but did the job for another many thousands of miles until you borrowed the car at Gingerman to go chase down a modified Evo. And you succeeded. But then the motor gave up the ghost, and that was rotten.
I mean, we went real hard. We were going real nasty for that thing. So we ended up getting you got another engine out of that, and then you're like,
that was a full short block.
Yep. And then you're like, I'm gonna build something. And I'm shortening all this. You decided to use like a local builder. We won't get into all that, but basically this experience was mixed, okay? You were going to build a 207 for it, so then you could drive around at high RPM, which you love to do. So the idea was like a 400 horsepower EJ 207, and it honestly, like the whole situation, it was like some people's parts and some of others, and there was a lot of Chiefs and not enough Indians, and like honestly, just the situation itself kind of, I think a lot of people learned a lot of lessons from that situation. So we don't need to go into that too hard.
Yeah, it was definitely a mixed experience. It just goes to show that a lot of people can be doing a lot of things right, and you can still have a bad experience. But so much has changed since that point in Six Star, in the local Chicago community, that if I were to do it again, I'd have all the confidence in the world that I would get exactly what I wanted.
You were a bit naive. You were younger. You know, there was the community was fairly large, and you had a lot of people in your ear, and you at that point really weren't sure who to be listening to, and you know, I'm just saying.
I spent a lot of time taking your advice and not listening to you.
Yes.
So
and what happened?
Right.
Okay. You didn't take my advice, and basically everything I said happened.
Yes, more than once.
Okay.
So I'm not going to do that anymore.
All right.
Be a little more selfish.
Then you went and I bought my BRZ and loved it. And then you turned around and bought a brand new BRZ. You had you were the first time I ever got to drive one of these new BRZs with a 2.4 liter.
Yeah, I think I was the first one in the Chicagoland area. So thanks to Joey DeAndrea. Oh, he was at Berman Subaru at the time. Like, he said, you're the guy. And I was like, absolutely. Signed the dot, and it was a great price. It was a great car.
Those guys were always great. They took care of me too. But I drove your car and was immediately pissed off at how good it was. Bone stock.
Yes.
So mad. And then you went and you did some minor stuff to that, but you ended up trading that because you got a TS.
Correct. Yeah, so all I did on the first car as well as the TS was just put camber in the front. So it doesn't come with any camber whatsoever, which makes the car, push a little bit, understeer on track. It'll tear up the sidewalls, that sort of thing, the shoulder blocks of the tires. So I just dialed in some camber, so negative 1.5 in the front to match, I think that's what it's in the rear as well. And the car is great. So TS is red rather than blue.
Yes.
If I had a red car to begin with, I think I probably would have kept it.
The red looks so good on these cars. And I gotta be real, I think, I'm just gonna say it, I think blue, like World Rally style blue, is just odd.
On that car, yeah, it's a sports car. It's a two-door. It needs a flashy color. I love the special edition colors, like the yellow that Toyota just announced, or the yellow from the first gen Subaru.
Yeah.
The series purple is gorgeous. The dark green Hakone edition is gorgeous. Yeah,
I don't know. It just does not match it. You know what I mean? I've never understood it. And I've seen some that do look kind of cool, I guess, but I don't know. Gold looks odd on a BRZ. Or sorry, blue looks odd. World Rally blue looks odd on a BRZ to me. And I'm sure there's some gorgeous ones out there, and if you love yours, that's awesome. Okay, this isn't trying to it's probably my least favorite color on the BRZ. I think I'd rather have silver. That's really saying something.
I don't like silver at all, so I can't go that far, but white would be okay. Definitely the red. The darker blue is pretty. You don't see very many of those.
Ooh, I really like the dark blue.
Yeah.
So either way, we're wandering into color too much. So you got a red one. It's got the Brambos, and you've got it's a nice car. Okay, I've driven it a bunch. I'm a big fan of it. It's got these fancy shocks on it that supposedly are some giant upgrade over stock, which over the standard ones. I am questioning that, but other than that, it's a red BRZ with Brembos, and I really dig it. I think it looks nice. Whole situation's good, but I think I really started hitting you hard was PRI this last year, where I'm like, what are you doing, guy? We need to mod this thing. Hell, it might have even been PRI the year before. What are you doing, man? We need to mod this thing. And I'm not telling you, I think the perfect second gen BRZ, is some small suspension mods, a good set of 200 treadwear tires. You won't agree with me on that, but a good set of 200 treadwear tires.
I might agree.
A front sway bar. And a set of coilovers. I should say wheels and coilovers. Wheels, coilovers, sway bar, and a cat back and a tune. Boom, done. Don't ever touch it again. Car is great. It needs nothing else. It gives you just a little bit more sound, because honestly, the fake sound thing that comes in there is kind of a joke, and I hate it. A set of wheels and tires transforms the way that car looks, but it doesn't look right unless you lower it. And you can get so much coilover for the money these days. It's unreal. And that's where I think if you want to make a really good single purchase kind of thing, I think it should be a set of coilovers. If what you're trying to do is make the car handle better. If you're okay with the way the car sounds, it already makes decent power. You don't really need more power to go, blowing down back roads with it.
No, you don't. So my only hesitation on what you're saying is, when you got out of my car after taking it on track, you said, this car is so good. Don't change anything. It's
really good stock. It is incredible stock. With that stated, I'm going to say it again. I still think I've said it before and I'll say it again. That car is good as it sits.
Yep.
It has it lacks a little bit of curb presence. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be as good, if not slightly better, with a decent tire. I would go more endurance 200 tread wear, but like an endurance style 200 tread wear tire, on a nice set of wheels that isn't like gaudy. Okay. Sure. Kind of a classy, nice set of wheels and a set of coilovers. Yeah, and not a very intense set of coilovers. Now, what I'm going to recommend is going to sound very generic, but I'm going to recommend our IAG Street Series. What those are, just in a nutshell, is a set of Fortunato 500s that, because we're using their extended top hat, we can actually get them to ride really nice at a more reasonable spring rate. Okay? And it's unreal how much better these ride than your typical, even normal 500s due to that extended rear top hat. The multi-link Subarus really don't have great suspension travel in the rear. That whole system was not designed for performance. It was designed for trunk space, and it shows.
Yep.
So that would be my recommendation for the money. Now, I'll be straight up with you. A set of 510s, built the same way on Swifts, might even ride a little bit better. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you have a little more headroom for like track slutty stuff. They would be better on track, but you're doubling the price damn near. I wouldn't say doubling. Okay. You're adding $1,000 on top real fast.
Yeah. So I worked really hard in 2024 and got the biggest bonus check I've ever seen, and it just landed today. So I definitely want to do something. I can commit today to buying tires, endurance 200s, and wheels. I'm fine with doing. I'm fine with not doing. So that's a curb appeal item that's not high on my list, but I'll be lying if I said I didn't like a good set of wheels, because the car will look better and other people will like the way the car looks too.
I mean, it's just classy. You're taking your girl out now. Sparkle's got to see some shit.
That's right.
She's got to look good, dude.
Yep. So the coilovers is the big question.
It's not.
In hindsight.
It absolutely is not. Like, the fact that you and I have continued to fight about this is it's borderline offensive, because every time I've told you to do this, every single time that I say, dude, you need to do this, I'm right. And I have been telling you to do this, especially since I got to go rip around in ours on our honestly really terrible, absolutely terrible roads around here. East Coast roads are pretty shit. They're very comparable to Chicago, especially Pennsylvania roads. And I got to drive this car up to Boxerfest and back, and was astounded at how good it rode. These exceeded my expectation by a pretty significant amount. And what that is more of a testament to the extended top hat help, don't get me wrong, but Fortune has also picked their game up a lot with their 500s. They've made a lot of development in their 500s over the past 5-6 years.
Okay, that's good to know. In hindsight,
sure.
Thinking back to my experience with my 2015 STI, in hindsight, the mod that I should have done pretty early on was suspension, and I didn't. I even bought a set and ended up selling it because I got what I paid for it. But, in hindsight, that would have been a great mod. Compared to what I did do was good, which was rear sway bar, get the car to rotate, some alignment tweaks in the front and the rear, get the car to rotate. Sure. And it was perfect. But I drove you had a GD at one point.
I had that car set up highly aggressive, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm talking about the black car, not the silver
car.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, the black car. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it had coilovers on it.
It did.
And it felt dangerous in a good way. It felt like I'm the Batman. I can just throw it around a corner and it does what I want. It just, your attachment.
GDs kind of have that vibe to them, but yeah, it's set up correctly. And you're also comparing all-wheel drive Subaru to rear-wheel drive Subaru. Okay, you can set up an all-wheel drive Subaru to really be tossable, and then your gas pedal saves you. you don't do that with
compared to what I had
with a rear-wheel drive car. Compared to what you had, that thing felt dangerous as shit.
Yeah, the VA STI was a bigger car, and it was also more conservative setup from the factory. So it would push; it would not just have the rear slide out. So yeah, different handling characteristics both from the all-wheel drive cars. So all right, so that's point number one. I wish I had done coilovers. Number two, I don't think I need coilovers because I only take it on track once a year.
I don't think that's.
I'm actually
coilover.
satisfied with how this is.
I'm gonna beat you up on this. Coilover is nothing but a format. Coilover doesn't mean race car. It is a format.
That's right.
Okay, so you're understanding that coilovers don't mean race car.
Yeah, but I associate suspension upgrades with, well, it'll be better on track and it'll be the same on the street. And you just told me from Boxerfest, you're tripping the development car for IAG. That's not the case. It's better everywhere.
I enjoyed the street manners of this immensely. Now, I will say it's firmer. Okay. It's not going to be hyper squishy like what you have right now, but it's going to have that more premium sports car feel. This has a much more premium sports car feel to it. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a Porsche, okay? But if you're trying to get Porsche vibes, that's what we were after.
Okay.
And I think we nailed it.
Okay. So, and then number three is more of a practical consideration, which is Fortunato 500s need to be rebuilt after so many miles. And I'm really not looking forward to doing that. So is there anything else I can buy that basically doesn't have that maintenance requirement?
Your stock shocks have to be replaced after a certain period of time too. Now, here's what Fortune's going to tell you, and now I'm going to tell you the reality of this, okay?
Okay.
Fortunatos from years ago, and your mileage will vary on this, okay? But Fortunatos from years ago were not built as good as they are now. The 05 STI that I went and did time attack for a few years on those 500s. Those coilovers were ancient. They had to be at least 6 or 7 years old with a ton of track miles and a ton of street miles. And they still functioned great when I pulled them off. Okay.
Okay.
Depending on how many massive potholes you're planning on hitting, or like chatter bumps and stuff like that, that's going to wear the suspension faster, obviously. If you're doing a bunch of track miles and banging curbing all the time, one that comes to mind is like Road America. Road America's curbing is brutal on suspension. Anybody who's hit it will know what I'm talking about. That's going to be a little rougher. But if you're driving around on smoother roads, and or avoiding giant potholes, you can go for a damn long time on these things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to rebuild it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, also, with that stated, Fortune rebuilds actually are pretty seamless. They aren't that bad. They have a whole program behind that. You send it in. I don't know what the current price is off the top of my head, but they have an overhaul, a whole program for overhauling your suspension, which is they replace everything in it. They basically pull the guts out, replace everything, seal it back up, shoot it back to you, and the turnaround time isn't that bad. Now, I understand in your situation, this is your only car. I'm not. Right. I don't even think you're putting enough miles on it right now for you to have to worry about rebuilding this for many years.
Well, I'm still at about 12,000 miles a year, so just as much as when I was living in the suburbs. I'm in Chicago now, but I've got a shop that I trust that's nearby, and I could have them take the suspension off and I guess just leave the car on jack stands in their lot and then be without a car for a few days.
That's worst case scenario.
Yeah, I'm just not looking forward to doing it. That's all. Cost is not an issue. It's more of just being without a car for a few days. But honestly, I don't drive my car during the week anyway. So if it was a Monday task and they turned it by Friday,
It'd be one of those
that's not
things.
enough.
Time
Maybe a
frame,
week and a half.
you would have to talk to Fortune. It's going to depend on the time of year you do it. If you hit them up
Yeah.
in their slower times, if you were to like say, I want to do this and you do it in January, you're probably going to get them back really fast. If you try to do it and it's like, May, yeah, you better be prepared to wait. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Right, so what are my other options? Are there any non-coilover, just shock only replacements that you would consider?
not that I'm a big
I just
fan
saw
of.
an Instagram ad. Okay.
I got to be real. Like that all kind of died way back when the struts all went away. So there's really not good shock spring options. Okay. Everything else is a coilover format. Now, the other option that is on the table that isn't terrible either is the RCE, their lower level shock, which is basically a rebuilt KW variant 3. It's a solid option too. I don't want to like take anything away from what they're building over there. One of the advantages to that is they have the stainless steel bodies, which is pretty cool. We've actually kind of negated a lot of that though with the coilover covers. Running those in the winter really goes a long way to keeping these things nice.
Okay. Yeah, it's stainless steel. I like the sound of that because I do drive the car in the winter, and coilover the bags that cover the shock and spring, probably a good idea too.
Yeah.
I don't know what the maintenance interval is on anything other than Fortunes. I assume all coilovers are the same way. I don't think anything really. I don't expect it to last forever. I'm thinking of the mindset of this is 100% daily driver that I take to the track once a year.
I'm gonna keep screaming this. We call it a street series for a reason.
I know. I know.
You're doing the thing again, okay? Where I'm telling you exactly what to buy, and then you're not listening to me.
Yeah. First of all, if we weren't recording this, you'd be telling me this stuff the exact same way, and then after
that's just it. Like I gotta be real. Like this is how this phone call would be going, and this is how this phone call would be going with lots of other people. Like the answer is very easy for you. We make the exact thing you want. What you want, you are trying to make this harder than it needs to be, just like you always do.
Yeah, no,
Don't.
I'm not the only one.
Don't.
A little bit of knowledge is dangerous.
This is simple. We made this simple for a reason. And the other nice thing about it is these are on the damn shelf. You'd have it in a couple days.
Yeah.
The choice you should be sweating on shouldn't be your coilovers right now because you're simple. You want a nice street setup that's going to ride decent, that you aren't going to have to worry about, and is backed up by a company okay?
Mm-hmm.
And, you've got all the adjustability and whatever you need. So that's taken care of, okay? We know what that is. The thing you should be sweating on is, what wheels should I be putting on this car?
Well, let me ask one more question before we go on to wheels.
I mean, we don't have to move to wheels yet. I'm just saying, like, that's what you need to be sweating about. The answer is super obvious here. We made this for you.
Yeah. No, you literally did. Like,
yeah,
you and IAG did the development and go, how do I get a guy like Andrew warranty to buy this?
Yes, these are warranty coilovers. And there are a lot of warranties out there who are like, look, I might see the track once a year or never, but I want the benefits of this. I can't afford a Cayman S, so I've got a BRZ. Okay,
I can afford a Cayman S.
I know you can, but that's a lot of people out there can't.
I want that out of a BRZ because I'm very brand loyal. So, like, would you put 510s on somebody who wants the Porsche experience?
I gotta be real. I don't think the difference is worth the price for you. No, I'm dead serious. No, I want you to hear me out. Like, I would have a very hard time sitting in this car in us driving around and telling you which one had 500s and 510s on it for driving around. Now, if we were to go to the track and we were to crank them down a bit, I would notice it then. But driving around on the street, good luck.
Okay. I'm really after that Porsche experience, which is, you know, I don't want to rebuild coilovers.
You're going to have to rebuild 510s as much or more. And unfortunately, I don't think...
I'm going for the Porsche experience.
I understand that.
I'm not trying to make... I don't care about lap times at all.
I know you don't. It's driving experience. This will help driving experience.
No, yeah, all right. So I got a couple more questions, and we can move on to wheels and other aspects of the car.
Sure.
So, what's the spring rate on the 500s?
What do you do on the BRZ? Expect? Hold on. I don't remember off the top of my head for the BRZ.
Okay.
We did
3.5K
5.6
in the front, 3K in the rear.
No, we did 5.6.
Okay.
Basically, we went down 1K. Off your standard 500.
Okay, which makes sense. It's a lighter car, and the front rear balance is going to be. I think it's actually 3.5K in the rear. I gotta check my stock specs, but let me check this real quick. Where's my car stuff?
I'm actually not sure what they're putting on them in the factory anymore, but they're obviously considerably lower spring rates.
Yeah, it's okay. I got it here. It's 3K front, 3.6K in the rear. Yeah. So all I care about is front rear balance, and front rear balance is actually even wider in the GR86. So it's 2.9K front and then 4K.
Yeah, rear, they went harsher in the GR86 with to try to get the car to rotate a little more. The BRZ is supposed to be the more refined experience.
Yeah, so if it's 6K front, what you say? 7K
it's 5K
rear,
front, 6K rear.
Okay, so it's not quite double, but it sounds like it's a similar ratio. So
yes,
that's
very similar.
Fine. Okay, ratios are what matter for how it handles.
How it's balanced. Yeah, its handling balance is going to come down to ratio.
Okay. I like the idea of Swift springs, if for no other reason than I almost had Swift springs on my STI, and that was the set that I sold.
So this is another thing. Like, look, I'm a huge fan of Swifts. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, huge fan of Swifts. If I will say though, Fortune does not use the same standard spring that they used to. It is so much better than it used to be. These are off-the-shelf Street Series ones are on their standard spring. Again, this is one of those things for your standard person who's driving this around. They will not know the difference at this point.
Okay. All right. I'm pretty well satisfied with the coilovers. I could. This goes without saying, but the Hitachi dampers are better, but they're not some like magical panacea. It's just Subaru had a bigger budget that they allocated to shocks, and they just bought something off the shelf from Hitachi. So it's not some magic. Okay, so you took your BRZ recently to Tail of the Dragon.
Oh, it's so good.
I know how just dialed that car is. It's got everything you can throw at it.
Yeah.
From suspension, and it feels like a go-kart, and that's amazing.
Yep.
What would you do to my car if you were to take my car as it sits to Tail of the Dragon, knowing that I don't want a hard-boiled sports car, race car? What else would you change besides coilovers? You said an Endurance 200, nice set of wheels. What else would you do? Oh, tune in a catback. Would you do any small stuff?
I'd put some brake pads on it.
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
Pads and fluids, but I'm serious. That's really it. I think my biggest gripe from an ergonomic standpoint of your car is the steering wheel. I fucking hate it.
Yeah. It's in the wrong position.
But that's one of those things that that's a personal preference thing. And if I probably wouldn't hate it as much if I wasn't shaped so stupid. You have longer arms than me, so it's easier for you to reach. One of the things I want to do with my own personal BRZ is I'm going to put an aftermarket steering wheel in it specifically so I can just put a spacer that's closer to me. Because I have to sit, because I have to recline the seat a little bit. So I'm, because I'm tall, It's really hard for me when I'm on track. I have to put my arms almost straight out, and that's not okay.
Yeah, it's this. I'm the same way. I'm taller than you are. You're already very tall. It's impossible for me to drive the car on track. My knees are on the dashboard.
Yeah.
And I do it because every car is going to be tough. On the street, the steering wheel is still too far away. So I would make that mod if I could keep the airbag. I'd pull it another 2 inches closer to my chest.
Yeah.
Be better that way. I would love that car on the street if I could get that steering wheel in the right position.
That's one of the things that sucks, and I wish an aftermarket company would find a way to make a spacer.
Yep.
It's something, because I don't mind my OEM steering wheel in my 13. I don't have a problem with the steering wheel. I have a problem with where the steering wheel is. Now, on your car, I actually don't like the steering wheel. I don't like the shape of the rim of it. I feel like it's shaped really funny, and I don't like how it sits in my hands.
Yeah, I don't like the material. It's a big step down from the VA STI that I had.
Yeah.
Which was great. Great shape, great material. This one is cheaper. So, okay. So, all right. Well, you've convinced me. I hope you didn't feel like I beat you up too much, but I want you to know this is because I spent so many years not listening to you.
Yes.
And then regretting it. So
I've been trying to get you to do is keep it stupid simple especially this car. I want you to keep it as simple as possible. There's another caveat to this too. Let's say you drive on these for a year and you're like, maybe I'm going to do a bunch more track time, or I want to change it up or something else. These are going to resell really easy too. They're a very known quantity. So
yeah. That's a very good point. Yes, if I hate them and I want to go back to living La Vida stock, I can do that.
And you can stock it up, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, there's a whole conversation to be had with wheels and tires. You're gonna want to, you being you're not gonna be willing to do any roll and pull.
What is that?
Your fenders are only going to accept so much as far as a tire.
Oh.
Me personally, what I'd like to see you put under your car is an 18 by 9.5 plus 38 with a 255 endurance 200 tread wear on it. That's what I want to see. And the reason for that is you're going to immediately feel that in the way the car handles. It becomes so much more direct. Now, whether personally, I think the cars look great on an 18, but even on a 17, they look good. And, it's the tires are a little cheaper and whatever. For your car, especially the new body style, I personally think the larger wheel looks better. But again, I think that's a personal preference. You could go either way. And also, since you're running around on kind of crummier roads, you going with a 17 might make more sense anyway, because you're going to get a little more sidewall. Therefore, it should ride a little nicer.
Yeah. So on that, I did drive the blue car, my first BRZ, on 17.9, and they were 255 tires. They were the 615K plus.
Yeah.
And I did not like how the car drove. It felt like a steamroller. It looked fantastic. And when I went through a corner, it would just give me all the grip in the world. But day to day, I did not like how it felt. I ran this by Paul at Tire Rack, our friend.
Yeah.
And he was like, 255s on that car only makes sense when you're running away from the apocalypse. So
I don't agree with that, but I also know what it all makes sense.
You're constantly running from the apocalypse, man.
There's probably some truth to that, but it all makes more sense when you do something like Tail of the Dragon, and you're shoving that car right up the ass of a car that's, it's base price minimum is 4 times what your car's worth. And
that's not lost on me. And getting every extra inch out of that car.
It isn't even extra. It's what it does is it gives you this massive area of ability. You can overstep your bounds so much more. Okay.
I believe that.
You can get away with shit that just doesn't make sense. God, I wish you could drive my car on the tail, dude. It is stupid good. It should.
I'll
It
come visit you.
never should have been
gonna happen.
that good.
Yeah, and I like that vibe that you're putting out now, which is it should not be this good. So that's I don't know what to say. My plan was 255s and I'm sorry, 225s. Yokohama 8009, so that's a 200 treadwear endurance type.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid option, and I'm not even saying that your car wouldn't feel massively improved with that. And if you were to do that with like a 8.5-inch wheel or even an 8, that would be a pretty. I'd like to see on probably an 8.5 with that.
Yeah, I think I would put it on an 18. I mean, if I were to buy wheels, I'd buy 18s. I don't think I'd buy 17s.
Yeah.
Just because the car came with 18s, and I do like the way they look.
Yeah.
I would like to keep that spirit, the Japanese driving characteristic, which is well displayed by Subaru, which is simple and balanced and all these wonderful things that are not just hard-boiled, running from the apocalypse, getting away with murder type grip in a car.
I mean, I bet you could put Tsuchiya in my car and he'd be like, I love this. I'm just saying.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So
I don't want to roll the fenders.
I don't want you to roll the fenders either. I really don't want you to roll the fenders. And depending on what tire you went with, it'd be really close. Okay, so I'd rather you not roll the fenders. That'd be one of those things I kind of want to talk to Foster about, because I don't know if we rolled our fenders or not. In fact, let me see if I can hit him up right now.
Okay. When I had the 255s, they were Falcon 615K Plus, so they're going to be a wide 255, and they were on a 9-inch wheel. Under big impacts, I would rub in the rear. I think the outside shoulder of the tire would rub in the fenders, but I was like hitting pretty serious bumps in the road.
I'm asking Foster right now. I'm pretty sure Foster will give me a quick answer. He's already typing. Hold on.
Nice.
Yeah, so what I would like to see is you really sweat on a really nice set of wheels and tires. Okay? Like, I would like it really be thinking about what you want this design language to be here. Okay? We like save some weight. This is where you're also going to feel it if you go with a heavier wheel and a heavier tire, and you know, this gets a little out of control. It can dampen it a little bit. And you will lose some wheel horsepower with that. You know what I mean? There is a rotational mass aspect to this.
Yeah, so I'd love to get really lightweight wheels. So that's why I'm more okay with getting a narrower, call it like an 18 by 8.
Yeah,
you know, and putting a 225 on it.
Again, I'm not against that. A 225 it's still small, but yeah, it would be fun. That would work.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to go for because I don't want that steamroller feeling.
Ooh, we did not roll the fenders.
I'm sorry, no, steamroller, as in, you know, I'm driving this big old tank that gives me all the grip in the world. When you're not driving urgently, the 255s on my BRZ were pretty boring. And it was kind of the same way. I had that same set of wheels and tires on my STI, where it was good on track. Or, I'm sorry, it was good driving urgently. The rest of the time,
Oh, so we actually went kind of chill with this. So it was an 18 by 9 plus 42. That's how we got away without rolling the fenders, because we went with fairly high offset. And if you look at on our site, the photo we use for the coilovers is our car. And I did drive that thing on track about as hard as I possibly could. And we never rubbed. This thing never rubbed.
If I get let's take a look. Got that.
Yeah, I want you to take a look at that, because I think you're gonna vibe with the way that looks.
Yeah, that's a sharp looking car. That the wheels are correct.
You don't need to go that low. Okay, that was we had to look a certain way, but you know.
Yeah, I don't. Again, I care about.
We have a whole video, by the way, on getting this fitment. Foster spent, just so everybody, you know, YouTube, Go check out our YouTube channel. BRZ Gets Wheels and Coilovers is what it's called, and we got the exact fitment.
Okay. Oh, these are $2,000. I thought they were cheaper, which means it's higher budget, which means there's more in it. Okay. I feel better about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're getting the discount, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's I like to know, like, what am I looking at? So I appreciate the discount, by the way, for the number of times I told you no or didn't follow your advice.
I should tell you to F off, but the reason you were getting the discount, by the way, is because you're basically an employee of IAG.
Okay.
So
well, thanks. Yeah, that's good. So well, thank you. All right, wheels. Yeah, let's talk. What would you like to see on the car for wheels?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. These Titans that we're running, they're forged. They look fantastic. I think they look fantastic. What I'd like to do is look around to see what other options for an 18x9 we have out there. But I have a feeling we're gonna end up coming back to. Sorry, they're not Titans. They're Apex. I have a feeling we're gonna come back to these Apex. I really do.
Okay.
Now. What color would I like to see on it? That's debatable. But personally, I think the same wheel that we had on ours, but in silver, would be mint. They call it brushed clear.
Okay.
Because it is a very bright silver.
Okay. I don't.
You got Facebook?
You want to talk about? Yeah.
You got Facebook open? Here, I'm gonna copy and paste this to you. I want you to see this. I'm gonna put it in the Thursday Thing chat.
Okay.
The reason you don't have a blue car like this, but you do have a very strong colored, brighter car.
Okay.
And with your gold Brembos, oh my God.
Yeah, I would not have picked this for myself, but I can tell that this would look good with gold Brembos behind it.
And I know the fitment is perfect.
Yeah, that's really sharp. I don't want black wheels. I'm not a big fan of. I don't think bronze would be right on the car, and I don't like silver because not all silver is created equal. So I agree. I'm not
but this looks really good. And then I would like to shoot for more of this ride height on your car. Take a look at the picture I just sent. That is the ride height I would like to see you at. I think we were a little overlowered. I think this is perfect.
Yeah, that's really sharp.
It's understated, nice. Maybe how STI would have built it.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about lowering. I mean, I'm not an aesthetics guy. I like things to look nice, but I don't need every inch to be perfect, right? I'm just going to say, send the coilovers to 6-star, have them corner balance it, and then be on my way. You tell them what they need, or they know what they need to do, and that's it. So, okay. That's it. That's a contender.
Actually, we have Randy in the chat is over there already going like, wow, those look good. I like those. It's crazy because I have picky wheel taste.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's some Enkis I want to look at. We can look at that now, or we could, do it after we stop recording.
We can look at them. Which Enkis?
I think it was the new T6R Enki 6-spoke wheels.
I mean, yeah, I guess those are trying to vibe off of what a T37 is. I don't want to sit here and say anything negative towards Enki. Okay, they make a really great wheel for the money.
Yeah.
But these are not within their premium wheel. This is one of their basic cast wheels, not even their high pressure cast wheels.
Oh yeah. Okay. I want something sporty.
Yeah, well, if you were trying to go for premium here, the thing that I told you about that Apex wheel, that's forged. I need you to understand that wheel is not cheap. Those are $700 a piece.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one then. Holy cow.
I gave you a link.
Oh, I'm clicking
to that wheel. Okay.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. So that's
It's a much more premium wheel than, these Enkis you're looking at will probably be 1,000 all in.
yeah, that's a different planet. Yeah.
And I want, anybody who's listening to this, it's not, I don't want it looked at like it's bad because it's cheap. These are actually phenomenal cheaper wheels. But you're looking for a more premium wheel, and these are like the line of Enki you're looking at here is on Enki's cheaper side. Okay. Now,
yeah, they do
if
everything.
you only got $1,000 to spend on wheels, those T6Rs are phenomenal. Okay, they're as good as you're gonna get for $1,000 set of wheels. Okay,
yeah,
but
I know exactly what you're trying to say. I don't have a good way to articulate or add anything to it, but it's not that it's a bad wheel.
If you're looking for a premium wheel, I'm trying to show you options with a premium wheel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Not against it. So definitely number one is tires. Number two, oh gosh, I mean, if I'm getting tires, it would have to be wheels to go with it.
You have to do wheels and tires at the
third on
same time. We're not getting around that.
Yeah, and then third on my list would be coils. Like, I'm not in love with coilovers. I know they're better, but like, I don't wake up in the morning and go, I have to have coilovers on my car.
I think you should be waking up in the morning going, I need this package.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm all about packages.
People are not, like, people get way too zoned in on one particular part. It's a system.
Yes.
None of this works if you don't do it all at the same time. This is how Porsche looks at stuff.
You're right.
So you need to start looking at things as a system. And the system as it sits right now is you need wheels, tires, coilovers. And then I think we should drive the car a little bit and have a conversation of maybe sway bars, but I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, the next.
Those are easy to add later, though. That's a tuning thing.
Yes. Speaking of tuning, the car is just a stock tune right now. So it is worth mentioning. I bought the extended warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. So I don't have to get the car tuned.
You don't.
Like, grand.
You don't. But I will say that these cars come alive, especially when you feed some E to them.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. But unlike the old BRZ where you're constantly wanting more power, it's not, the need isn't anywhere near that bad with yours.
No, it's not. It's competent everywhere.
Yep.
It's great on the street. It's great on track. It doesn't feel weird because it doesn't have much of a torque dip in the center. Like,
I think it's a large amount of massive increase in torque. I shouldn't say large because it's not, but massive increase in torque on the bottom and mid range from the old FA20. I think is going to make I feel like I'm driving a steamroller problem a lot less prevalent.
Okay.
Because you're going to have so much more torque to turn these things.
I mean, I had the steamroller feeling on the blue BRZ, which was just pure stock and with the tires on it, with the wheels on it.
I don't know.
I don't think you ever drove the car with those wheels on it.
I don't think I did either. Did you not do suspension either?
I never did suspension.
So no. I wonder if some of that feeling was coming. You had a ton of grip from the tires, but you were still like, you still had the body roll of the stock suspension.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, because the car was not built from the factory for anywhere near that much grip.
No.
And so it would just lean over on the side and then like not know what to do with itself. So yeah, you're right. It's a system. I bet I could have a great experience on a big ass tire if I had the suspension to match. I
think what we need to do is we need to keep pushing to turn your car into, if Porsche were to be involved in this, they would call it a GTS, which is their one step under their like GT3 or GT4 line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what it is it's a step up from what they would consider an S. So it's got the nice stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this weird hybrid between their race car and then their like slightly amped up performance.
Yeah. So the listeners at home know, I can afford a Cayman now. That's fine. In the future, I will have to make a decision. Do I want to buy a fun Porsche, like a 911 of some kind, or do I just want to stick with a Subaru with some minor changes? And as I get older,
I gotta be
think
real.
it's really 50-50.
Having driven a lot of different cars at this point, I'm not trying to like say anything cross about 911s. They're iconic. But I think money is better spent on a Cayman and or a Boxster, depending on what you're doing. And there are some serious advantages of it, but it is ungodly insane how close a second generation BRZ has got, especially a mildly modded one on the experience that you're trying to get.
Yep. I don't want a hard-boiled race car, and I'm not trying to say that Subarus are in any way better than Porsches.
No.
But if it's really close, I can spend that extra money on vacations and being with friends.
You can spend that extra money with going to Tail of the Dragon and having a good time. And then the beauty of it is, when you do hang off the ass of some dude in a Cayman or a 911 or something in your Subaru, you are a fucking hero. But if you do it in a Porsche, you're just the guy in a Porsche.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a very big fan of the Japanese feel of driving.
Yes.
Like it's balanced. It's not about power. It's a certain feeling. And I like my brand loyalty too, as you know, because you do the same.
Yep. Yeah, I'm married to this damn brand, for better or worse. I'll admit it.
I want somebody like, I'm not going to say names, but I want somebody that, we look up to, go, this is amazing. I got a perfect person for you. Have you seen any of Kevin Vo's current channel? I saw that he was in an ad for Coney Shocks.
Yeah, okay, go watch Kevin Vo's YouTube channel. He brought, Yo, who used to work for, you're going to love this, Apex Wheels, and before that worked for Subi Speed. Okay, yes, he's got a very nice 911. Yo is driven some extraordinarily nice cars. 3/4 of like boys and stuff, all sorts of random shit on track. He's been living the California life, okay?
Yeah.
And he just picked up a brand new TS. And he does some comparisons, and even it's surprising.
Did he put anything on it? Any suspension?
Yeah, they're doing small modifications. They're working on suspension. That's coming. But he just picked that up. Okay. The first thing they did was an intake. They've got an extraordinarily nice intake on there. It barely makes any horsepower, but sounds phenomenal. It's this carbon gorgeous thing. That might be something worth looking into if it adds to the driving experience. You get that induction sound.
Yeah.
That might be something worth looking into. Is it worth the money in what you're doing? I don't know. Again, there's sound is a part of the experience. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that you don't take too much away from that.
You're right. It is.
Yep.
And that goes for exhaust as well as, intake noises. I don't like the sound generator. I keep it on because the car is so damn quiet. I wouldn't always hear my shift points.
That's the only reason it is on. Like, and it's so if you were to add a chill exhaust and then maybe their fancy ass intake, because it is fucking cool. And get it tuned and never, like I said, don't touch it, dude. Past that. That's gonna be such a great experience car. Take it to Tail of the Dragon. Take it to dude. We got to do Tail of the Dragon again, because I found so many other roads out there that Tail is good, but
everything else is better. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's better. It's different. The Skyway, we never got to the Skyway. And the first time I ever drove the Skyway was the last time I was out there. We have totally missed out. There is a valid argument for that being the better road.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down. We were making loose plans. Like, I would love nothing more than to bring this car and you go, this is perfect.
Yes.
And then we drive it and then just live happily ever after.
So get your goodies done. Let's get you some wheels. You tell me when you're ready to get those too, and I'll add them to the quote. Okay. And we'll get it done. But I personally, I think you should do the coilovers. So
Okay. Yeah, so that's about it. I don't have any more questions. I mean, you've given me all the details I could ever ask for.
yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
I'm a build advisor, not really a sales guy, but you know.
I liked Dream Materializer and Company Badass. Both of those.
Try to
put that on a business card.
I have.
It was. Yep.
I think people got angry with Company Badass. I need to put that back on the card, though.
Okay.
So, all right.
Well,
yeah, I think that's the plan. So, I think off air we can figure out, because I got to get your address and all that noise. We'll get you sorted out there, and I think that's the play. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, we could talk about a couple more wheels, but it's just going to come down to what do you think of this?
You and I are going to bounce stuff back and forth for like a week, and I think we need to reconvene on the show to tell people what you ended up going with.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And, if you guys like this format of me telling Warranty that he needs to listen even when he doesn't, let me know. And maybe we'll do more of these. Or maybe next time Jordan calls in. And Jordan's so much more fun because he listens.
He's got a cool car as a result.
We'll have conversations with, maybe we'll record conversations of how these conversations actually go.
Yeah, this is 100% the same if we were not recording.
Yes, other than the background before. And I probably would have cussed a couple more times, along the lines of, I told you to fucking listen to me and you never do. And you're doing the damn thing again.
You're doing the thing again.
All right, man. Cool. Let's call it there. And and we'll catch you guys next time.